ready to start the stream, and it's like, ah. This is why I like playing Theater of the Mind. That way, it's like, oops, I forgot to load a map into Roll20. Well, no big deal. So, when we last left off, you guys, well, managed to make it back home. One of your party got completely pissed off at the rest of your party and has stalked off somewhere. Um, your little gnome friend decided to keep that octopus. Got him a tank, and then spent 8 hours awakening him.
Don't forget about the top hat.
Yes, and gave him a top hat. So now you have an octopus bartender. Way to go, Weeping Angel Tavern!
Upgrades.
Yes. But the most major event that happened last week was two of you came under attack in the middle of the night by invisible stalkers. You don't know who sent them, you don't know why, but one went after Phaedra and one went after Will. You guys managed to wake up in time thanks to Grick having installed the arcane lock, which seemed to have been failing a bit due to the stalkers. However, the arcane alarm spells on all the doors really came in handy. At least all the interior doors. If there was one on the exterior door, you'd no idea what happened to it now. Um, but you did manage to defeat your unseen assailants without any without any real harm to the rest of you. No casualties this time. The next day, you got up, tried to figure out exactly how far away your next location is, and learned that it will take some time to get there on a regular ship. Knowing that there's possibly some other ways of doing it, you went and talked to your contact Ile of the Guild of Archaeology, Lady Ile actually, and discovered that a project that had been put on hold for the last couple months, probably since the cloud giants came around and the storm that destroyed Baldur's Gate, a project called the Adventurer, which is captained by a rather unusual dragonborn, or part dragonborn, named Calzonia. And I do believe you have learned what that type of ship is, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
You discovered that he doesn't simply steer a ship around. No, he has his own airship. That is what Project Adventurer is. An airship which can move as fast in the air as a dragon. And will be able to get you there only in a few days. At least to the search area. However, you have been warned that it is experimental, and might potentially crash. So, Iron Roses, as Phaedra and Shiori have gone off to Neverwinter for a quick day trip via your doors, your magic doors. What would you guys like to do today?
Did we decide that we were going to go as soon as possible?
In the morning, yeah.
Yeah.
So is this still the night before? Or is this a day?
Um, this is the 17th. Yes, it's the same day as you were attacked by the things. I said Will spent his day awakening that octopus. It's now afternoon. It's evening, and said Phaedra went off to Neverwinter with Shiori to talk to Peleos, but Peleos is currently busy and has the shop temporarily shut down. With a note on the door saying supplies have gone to the current rebuilding of Castle Neverwinter.
Shit. I was hoping Ralthor would be here too. Okay. I guess we go back to the mansion and try to see if we can find Rhiannon and Biddy. Maybe Ralthor's there.
Yes.
And I'll head back to the mansion.
All right. All right. At the mansion, you find Adler and Dara in residence, along with, of course, the normal complement of. Oops. Sorry, I forgot to delete these tokens. There we go. Uh, Along with the normal complement of, you know, Mother Windstar and Earless Windstar.
Mm-hmm. Adler. Uh, what?
Yes.
And Dara? Is that your name? Dara?
Yes, that's my name.
I'm sorry. Um, uh, have you seen? We're about to actually. We were gathering everybody up. Got to make a way. We discovered where the King of the Storm Giants is being held, and we're making our way via flying ship thing.
Dara
Um,
just looks at you, a bit surprised and confused when you say that.
uh,
Flying ship?
I she kind of just like shrugs.
Really, it flies like and is just as fast as a dragon.
Oh, I've gotta see this.
Well, that's why Shiori and I are here. We were coming to collect anybody who would like to join us. There may be danger, though, many cultists, possibly in the future.
And the ship is experimental.
Could explode. It's fine.
Sorry, it could explode. This is
Yeah,
Dara still.
we're apparently the maiden voyage of this project. Lady Ile of Waterdeep apparently got this passed down to her. I think Lady Jasmine was starting work on it.
Hmm.
Silly Jasmine's. She's
Potential death? First time on a
excellent.
flying ship. Potential death? Flying ship.
It's potential death of us, to be fair.
Death? What's the worst that can happen other than dying?
Uh,
That's
I would.
fun.
I.
That was not a character.
What'd you say?
I said not a character. Ask Fawn.
Oh god, that's mean.
Which is why Shuri would not say that.
Yeah.
Get on mic.
Yeah. But if you two would like to come, we were gonna head off in the morning if you want to join us in Waterdeep. But have you seen? We're here to collect as many as we can. Have you seen Rhiannon or Biddy or Ralthor anywhere?
Oh, Theron.
Or Viren?
have they seen Ralph anywhere?
uh, they would have probably seen him occasionally show up at the mansion along with Peleus, but other than that, not so much. You don't know where he is right now.
Last time we saw Ralph, he was with Peleus. As for everyone else, no idea.
Well, we went to Peleos's to try to get some potions and to collect them, and the shop's all closed. I don't know where they are. But you haven't seen Biddy or Rhiannon any.
No, not. I haven't really seen them.
What the hell are those two doing?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, I remember Biddy had said how he needed to go back to Avernus.
I would hope they wouldn't go alone.
Do they even have a different way to get to Avernus without making deals or the likes?
I don't know. I'm sure there are plenty different options if you want to find a way to hell to get there. I don't know any of them offhand, but
I'm not sure why anyone would want to go to that cursed place.
me either. But Biddy seemed determined enough to not go with us on this last venture.
Hmm.
I guess I could leave a note here for them. I can leave it with your mother in case they were to return. But if you want to come, I would gather what you want, and then we can go through the doorway that we have to Waterdeep here in the mansion as we leave early in the morning.
All right.
Phaedra will leave a note for all parties involved, letting them know where they're going, what they're doing, all that stuff.
All right. You left a note for Biddy, Rhiannon, and possibly Varen?
Varen and Ralthor, yeah.
Alright.
The whole everybody that am I missing anybody?
No?
Nobody.
James?
Oh,
James? In case like
James? Question
James.
mark.
I mean, we know that we lost that memory of that person.
Oh yeah. So
don't know.
she wouldn't remember that then. Never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows we forgot a person called James. She doesn't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think we know that they're we have an idea of what happened to them, but we're not 100%.
Yeah. She'll put down any other members of the Iron Roses. She'll put down James because she's been told that he was a part of the group. So put that down. And then head back, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Maybe check Waterdeep. Welcome. We already did the Waterdeep welcome shop. That's all I got. The one things.
Yeah. So what
Yeah.
we have is what we got.
Alright. Anything else here?
I don't think so, unless I'm missing something.
I can't think of anything.
No.
No.
So, while those two are over in Neverwinter, what are the rest of you guys doing? Evidence seems to be taking to the new bar gig.
I can't believe a ship can fly.
Yeah, Talon will be like, yeah, it's odd. Never heard of anything before like that.
Must be new on this world. Eki orders a drink.
I'm assuming he's sticking with whiskey, what he's been drinking the last.
Yeah,
couple
he'll
of
take
days.
whatever. He'll take whatever you wish to serve him.
Yeah, so she'll pour him a whiskey.
Thank you.
On new on this world. I'm guessing on you're from a different world. She don't know.
Yeah, I'm from Alaris. I thought you went there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Airships are common there?
Well, there are a few. Not common per se, but they do exist.
Hmm.
He downs his whiskey.
Interesting.
He looks over at Gamel. There was also that, I could have sworn I saw an airship when I was in the Feywild. And of course, there are the, like, flying carriages and stuff.
There are a lot of things that people would consider odd in the Feywild.
Hmm. Every plane has oddities, don't they? He taps the bar.
Talon pours another drink.
I guess to those who are not native, most things seem odd.
Yeah.
I find the oddest things to be the most interesting.
Such as? He sips at his whiskey.
The iron roses have been the oddest thing I've found here.
He looks around, looks at the octopus, nods. Yeah, I think the iron roses are indeed odd.
And
You ever met talking octopus before, Gamel?
oh, I have. That's not odd.
I figured. But was he wearing a top hat?
No, but he was wearing a beret.
That isn't what I was thinking.
But you're also very determined, and that's what I find the most intriguing. No matter the odds, you keep pushing forward. I'm curious to see how that turns out.
I guess we're all members of the Garden Roses here if we keep pushing forward. Downs the rest of the whiskey.
Talon's gonna take a glass of water and make sure evidence is hydrated. Pour over.
Evidence is appreciative of this.
Hydrate me.
You said this is evening, right?
Yeah, it's become evening. There's
Okay.
customers flowing in. They stop and look at the octopus on the bar and the fact that it's mixing drinks and has a top hat. But the majority of them continue on in and sit at tables and order drinks and food. The kobold waitstaff springs up and just starts filling out orders.
Evidence. Watch the bar for me. If we're leaving in the morning, I need to go check in with somebody.
All right
but
then.
yeah, I'll be back in a little bit, and Talon will go off to check in with her thing.
All right.
Root will come down and help serve drinks, as in drinks and food. He brings things out.
Yes, this is definitely the oddest bar in Waterdeep, even odder than the Yawning Portal, and it's become part of its mystique and is causing your sales to go up.
Hooray!
Yay.
You have your regulars, especially here in Troll Skull Alley. And you have people that have actually started wandering in from neighboring districts just to get a look at you guys. Kobold waitstaff, a small animated tree, and now an octopus bartender.
Did we have a very explosive start as well with the fireball outside the tavern?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but then nobody considered that to be your fault, so.
No, but it brought
Fireworks gone
attention.
wrong.
Mhm.
That's true. You got your name mentioned in the paper.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, for some reason you haven't received the paper in a few months. Apparently, that little halfling boy that sold you the subscription is no longer here. Either something has happened to him, or he just took the money and run.
And they're just like probably thinks about that for a second, and then starts like trying to going around and entertaining the guests. Essentially, he's just like talking to them, make sure everything's all right. That's all he would be doing, just idle chit chat,
Sounds good.
being a host, essentially.
Well, that's been his job for a while. He's used to
Mhm.
it. Kobolds working in the kitchen. Kobolds working on the floor. And what about Will? What's Will doing now?
Well, it's still the same day that he has awakened a octopus and fought invisible stalkers.
Yep. And he is an old man.
Old man with a lot of spell slots left.
Yes, yes,
Oh.
indeed.
Oh God.
And a cloak of invisibility.
Oh, the possibilities.
Yeah, I love Will.
He was prepared to leave on a ship today, so I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
hasn't really thought about anything.
Who knows how long it's gonna be until we get home again? So many things to do before you leave.
Yeah. Guess we can make a bomb and leave it somewhere. No, just for funs. No, I think he's probably just going to mess around with his general stealthiness, and just conjure a bunch of pixies and play tricks on people around town.
Roll me a 1d100. I want to see where this goes.
Alright, so I'm using the stealthiness and the. I'm just gonna. Decent.
33 is decent. Wow.
Well,
It's down the middle. 1d100, you say?
we roll
Who do
stuff
I
like
mess
that.
with? So it's me and my gang of pixies.
Yes.
Okay, in the wrong neighborhood.
We're the wrong neighborhood, mister.
Are you just hanging out in this section of the city, or are you heading out to any of the other districts?
No, I'm in this district.
Okay. Yeah, so the pixies play pranks on the Genasi couple next door. They successfully steal the glasses off the Dragonborn bookseller down the street. Um, they try to mix up the ingredients of the herbalist, although that one is rather canny and fixes it back, and is kind of charmed by the pixies. Um, the Genasi couple, of course, the fiery one, he is very upset about all this and is ranting and raving by the time he comes into the tavern, and his husband is there trying to soothe him out, saying that they were just pixies. They didn't mean any harm. No damage was done, hun. And you guys can hear this as they're walking in the door.
Right, no damage done by the pixies.
But they were only the distraction,
Yeah.
because Will has stolen all of their shoes.
Oh no. Actually, they're nasty. I'm not sure they wear shoes. I think they wear sandals.
Shoes are sandals.
Footwear. Okay, footwear.
Footwear, all of the footwear. There's a big pile of footwear from the local buildings out in the street. With a little flag on top of it.
Oh my.
All right. So that's the shenanigans that Will is up to. What about Gamil? What is Gamil doing this evening?
Well, he already had a performance today.
Yes, he did.
What could he do now? You are to live into the morning, correct?
Can you repeat that, please?
You are to live into the morning, correct?
Aki kind of nods. Morning, yeah. Not planning to go anywhere till morning.
Good. I'll be right back. He's gonna just turn to some random assortment of to make a random person, basically. And he's gonna go. Wander outside of town
Oh dear.
to the north. No. Yeah, to north.
Okay.
And he's going to just in the middle of the path, probably good 5 miles out at the most, place a bean.
Well, roll for bean.
Make a bean
Alrighty.
roll.
I'll mark down I use no bean.
Do you have proficiency in bean?
Okay, what is your roll? Magic bag of beans.
Yeah, he was given the bag of beans by the traveler after he agreed to become a cleric of the traveler.
So that is a D100.
To renounce his former warlock patron.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm looking that up now.
That's not as bad. It's just random.
Alright. Yeah, I love the random nature of the bag of beans. It's just that I'm just trying to look up the stupid. Oh, here we go. Here's the bag of beans. 39. So, right in front of you, a campfire with blue flames springs forth and burns for 24 hours, or until extinguished.
He's gonna make himself look like almost like a gypsy, and then use mirror image, and start shouting and hollering out there for a good bit, like he's chanting
Okay.
as loud as he can.
You got one of the lesser effects of this bag of beans, like the most basic, the most non-threatening thing that that could have possibly happened from the bag of beans. That's what you just got. That's hilarious.
Exactly.
Because that could have gone so poorly.
It could have. I'm kind of, as a player, glad it didn't.
Because it's very possible you'd be dead right now if the bullet had opened up from underneath and just swallowed you whole. You
Yep.
are a squishy character after all. But anyway. So that's what's going on. Fun! What are you up to?
Yeah, just lounging around at the bar, drinking water. Not really wanting to get drunk when we're almost going to go into a fight.
Evidence keeps pouring you water and asks, "Are you sure you do not want booze, sir? Everyone else seems to be drinking booze."
Uh, sure.
And
That
since
changed quickly.
and since Aki's been drinking whiskey, wraps his tentacle around one of his tentacles around the a bottle of whiskey, uncaps it with another tentacle, and just pours it into a glass, and then slides it over. Constitution saving throws. See if you get drunk.
Constitution. I'm not good at this.
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, you're fine. Aki is getting tipsy next to you, but you're fine. And I'm guessing that's going to be it for everybody's ventures this evening.
Yvonne sees one of his shoes drift past him in the air, out into the street.
All right. Yeah, the customers and the kobolds, because there are a lot of customers in here. I'm just not bothering to put their tokens down. Would notice the shoe. At least some of them would. It's like, what that? And start whispering to each other. One of the kobolds goes, "Ah, I think the ghost is back!"
Hmm? Where?
And gestures at the shoe that's floating in the air.
Just stares at the shoe.
It's from your collection of shoes. It's one of yours.
Just gonna go to grab the shoe.
It raises above you.
Oh no.
And then an assortment of shoes comes out and blocks you from getting to your shoe.
The fire genasi who's sitting at a table notices that his shoes are among this pile and goes, "Hey!" and gets up.
Could whoever's doing this please stop?
Some of the other customers are looking at each other and some of them whispering, and one of them actually claps nervously because they think this might be a show.
And then he realizes one of the shoes is his. Wait a second. Looks under the table. And the shoes will scatter and fly out of the open windows.
Fetch the shoes, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's going to be left outside in a pile in the street.
Barnes just gonna look for his shoes.
So Fawn's outside looking for his shoes, as is the fire genasi from next door, who's grumbling about his shoes having been stolen.
I just want to let the person know who just did that. that is a very bad idea.
And the
Thing
voice,
that he just whisper to me.
yeah, and the voice whispers back, "I know," with a chuckle.
I recognize the voice.
Oh, you should. You can make an educated guess if you want to share it with the rest of your party.
Mm,
Yes, later. I will write that down.
Alright. Talon, how long do you stay with your mentor?
Enough to just check in with any information that she's grabbed. Let him know what the Roses are up to, where they're going, what they've discovered about the Storm Giant and everything, and the connections that they believe with Galen, all the research he's been doing.
All right.
So just to check in, kind
Okay.
of. Yeah.
And once you do that, you come out and you see that there's a pile of shoes almost in front of your tavern. And Fawn and the friar you not see next door are sorting through them, apparently trying to find their shoes.
I am gone for an hour. What the hell? What is with the shoes?
Will appears. You're welcome.
I didn't ask for them. Why? I didn't say thank you.
I wasn't giving them to you. It was just a welcoming party. Everyone had to get here to get their shoes.
Is that a gnome thing?
No?
I don't get it. Okay. I don't know. And she just kind of just shakes her head, throws her hands up in the air, and just walks back in the bar. She's like, I'm done trying to figure out these people. And she'll go back behind the bar.
Evidence is still there and says, I have been serving the elf water and one whiskey. He is now outside getting shoes. The kobolds think that ghosts are involved.
I think they
Yeah.
had too much to drink.
Not ghosts evidence. I'm assuming it had to deal with a little gnome friend of ours.
Where is Beast, by the way? Because last I looked, he was still upstairs in the thing instead of down in the bar finding out what was going on here.
I guess he would come down then.
Alright. So, yeah, there doesn't seem to be anyone nefarious in the tavern right now. The only oddity that you saw was Will and his shenanigans. And yes, Grick would definitely know that spell.
Okay. I'll end up switching to that in the morning. Does not need that normally.
So Aki drums his fingers along the bar. Do we know how many of us are going on this ride?
I mean, we extended to me and Talon and Gamble. So let's see, Phaedra, Shiori, me, Talon, Gelmil, Fawn, Beast, Aki, it's 9 so far. We were asking a few more, but I don't know what they got.
Yeah, I don't think Bob and Gary and Avery are coming on this one.
No, I don't think that would be very given Bob's affinity toward water, I was told.
Yeah. He doesn't seem to like
Alright,
being on...
Will. How did I forget Will?
Will's... I figured Will's always a given.
Hello. All of that, you forgot about me?
You're so easy to miss, given your invisible nature.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
But invaluable nonetheless.
Oh, sorry, you were still talking to me.
Yes,
Alright.
So,
kind of.
Aki says, from what I understand, it's at least 4 days there, an unknown amount of time to find what we're looking for, and then 4 days back.
Yes.
So, we're probably gonna need 2 weeks supplies to be safe. Do you know how much they if they're providing or if we're bringing our own. What's the deal there?
They were providing rations for the trip. I assume.
Well, I imagine that anything else we want, any other supplies we want to bring with us, we probably should.
Yes, I know we were looking into potions and such. Do not know how successful that was, but you know, all I didn't care were those trinkets, the little tokens,
Hmm.
the feather tokens.
Yeah, that'll be useful.
And I could take an hour in the morning and prep Featherfall, just in case.
That'd also be useful.
I can only affect 5 creatures, so if that is up to 11 people. And I know Phaedra can fly fairly easily. Let's see, we're at 10. 9, I would need it. So it's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more people. 2 people at the very most. But she wasn't able to find all of them. Then maybe like 1 or 2 that could not.
Aggie takes another drink.
Not including the crew of everyone else, of course.
Yeah. I've actually not been on an airship before. I've been flying. I was on my godmother's flying carriage across the Feywild. From her castle to the summer port.
Nouns.
So I have been flying before, just never in an airship.
This should be fun.
Yeah. I'm hoping it'll be fun.
Hoping for a low chance of explosions.
That too.
Aggie nods. Explosions would be bad.
It would put quite a damper on a trip.
Yeah, probably.
Though, knowing this group's luck, even if it does explode, would be fine.
What, you're expecting someone to save you? Or save us, rather? Because I
No,
think
they
that
just
I'm here.
seem to get out of trouble, even though it makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens.
Not unscathed, mind you, but they still manage to get out of it. And we're taking precaution.
Anyone else have anything they wish to do before the before the evening ends?
No.
Nope.
All right. So we are moving on to the next day. It is the 18th. Uh, it is only. Wow, it's actually only a week till. I miscalculated the midwinter when I was saying that's less than a week away. No, midwinter is exactly a week away. At least our weeks.
Oh, that's much better. Cool.
Because it's the 25th, and this being the 18th means it's 7 days away. But the temperature is getting colder outside, and people. You've noticed that there's a bit more of a festive atmosphere in the air these days. Ow. People are decorating outside their buildings for winter for the midwinter festival. So, Iron Roses, what would you guys like to do? Oh, Aki's no longer drunk. Wait.
I mentioned.
Everybody got back okay?
Yeah, they would have returned through the doors. Gamel probably came back at some point.
He's just waiting in the corner for everyone to be ready.
That's an ominous roll.
That's Will's staff recharging.
Ah, excellent.
Right there. So you got 2 more?
Yes. Dara Winstar, Grick Silverwin.
Greetings.
Greetings. This is an interesting tavern you have here.
Evidence waves.
Congratulations. Thank you for
Can
that.
I get you a drink?
Just blankly stares at evidence.
Maybe not before our trip.
Yeah.
Very well. Evidence heads back down into his little aquarium tank to submerge in the nice water.
We were unable to locate Ralthor, Viren, Biddy, and Rhiannon, as well as that James person that y'all had, a few of you had talked about. I don't know where they are. I left a note in Neverwinter with Mother Windstar, letting them know where we were and if they wanted to join us. I imagine it's going to take them quite longer to get there unless they have another means, but and we weren't able to procure any more potions. Paleos's was shut down. It was odd. He was gone, and so was Ralthor.
Interesting.
So, I don't know.
Everything is fine there. I did make a count, including my spell, and those tokens that Gamma gave you. We have basically the ability to stop people from falling to their death, at least for 11 people. We now have 12 people.
Aki pipes up with, and there's more people on that ship.
Yes.
You might want to just talk to the captain about that, see if he has some means. Oh, I deleted the tokens that moved off this particular map. Sorry.
No. Fucking stealthy gnome.
So stealthy,
Even
you
hiding,
can find your own character.
even hiding from. Nice.
So,
Just
how
become
many
sentient and lost his player.
how many people
That
are
is a
coming?
scary thought, you know.
12?
12. Yes.
Well,
12, including the 2 that you just brought.
okay. Well, we only need 11, because I can fly.
Right. So that actually, yes, I had counted that last night and forgot it properly in the morning.
It's okay. I
Can
was just
anyone
letting you know I
else
didn't
here
have one.
fly? Aki pipes up.
Wait, what? He kind of looks confused.
Well, I mean, if Phaedra can fly, can anyone else in the group fly?
Only when I
I-
grow wings.
I can follow style.
Gamel, roll an
To
intelligence check.
infinity and beyond.
I can't just fucking up. That's Gamma. Not sure. 18.
It occurs to you, Gamel, that you can do more than just fall. You wouldn't necessarily be able to fly, but you can probably find a form that'll let you glide at the very least.
Hey, thanks for a second. I can glide. What's like falling with style? I was like, I just do what I did when I fell out of a tree in the Feywild and faced it to the bottom.
Oh, I just had a thought.
Hmm.
Quincy. We'll need to fly him as well if something were to happen.
Well, if we don't need Gelmo or you, then that I'd save some money. I can
Yeah.
we just have one free token, and I would also still have one free for the spell.
Okay.
I'm not.
I was just
Aki pipes up with, "I'm not sure if the displacer beast can actually use one of those tokens. You'd have to hit them with a feather fall."
Yes, and that's and he kind of like flips through his book. A 60-foot range.
okay. I just wanted to make sure that we remembered about Quincy.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think we should be too scared about going down.
Who's Quincy? Dara asks.
A
Quincy.
displacer beast suddenly seems to phase in behind you, Dara.
Crawls out from under the table.
Oh, that's Quincy. You guys are really odd.
One of the kobolds comes out with a dish of bone of Quincy's normal meal, a dish of bone broth.
Okay, I'm just gonna fuck with Dara.
Oh shit.
And when he's not looking, he's gonna turn into
Dara.
Fern.
Dara's a kind person. Please.
He's a
Dar-
windsor, that's all we care about.
Dara, you glance around and suddenly see your brother Viren standing nearby.
Prepare to become jaded, sir.
Oh, Baron's here too.
What? No, we couldn't find Viren. What?
Over there. And I point to pretty much what he believes is Baron.
When you
And-
turned around to turn back, you now see Biddy.
But was it Biddy as Biddy used to be, or Biddy as the?
Oh yeah, which Biddy? There's
That he
3
got
different
turned
versions
into.
of Biddy.
The improved version.
the little halfling, okay.
Halfling.
Yeah.
And Biddy. Wait, where did Baron go? What?
Biddy kind of points over there.
Mm,
Does he
not
point?
looking. Not looking. It's a trick.
It's a trick.
Staring at you intently.
Aki kind of pipes up with, "He's a shapeshifter. He can turn into who he likes."
He turns back into Gamma. I just said
You know, that is not very nice.
it's useful. And I'm a bit of a prankster, so you know.
He means well, Dara. He's just having some fun. We've all had to deal with it all this time.
Don't worry. As long as you don't do anything stupid to put us in harm, or directly put us in harm, you have nothing to worry from me.
Hmm.
In fact, I'd actually be more worried about those two. And he points to Shiori Page.
Vader gives a little wink.
I'm more concerned about the gnome.
I'm not. I like him. His mischief's fun.
Hmm.
He just smiles in Will's general direction.
Do we see Will?
Mm.
Yeah, probably. He hasn't been invisible for a while.
He was invisible last night.
No, that wasn't invisibility. That was just very stealthy.
Ah.
Different.
Might as well, Ben.
I was only a stealth of 33.
I only roll a 12 on the die. Plus my 21.
Well, that makes it pass without a trace.
Goodness. But yes, we should probably talk to the captain to make sure, see if he has any gravity precautions.
That's a good term for it. Gravity precautions.
Yeah, probably a good idea. I mean, he said last night that they had a bunch of preparations to make, so it's possible that was a part of it as well. I don't know, but yeah, go to check just in case. We do have a fair amount of funds if we need to, I don't know, get some scrolls or whatever magic stuff can help.
Yes. I mean, I can technically, to be fair, depending on how far we're falling, cast spell for multiple people. It's just a reactive nature. As long as they're still within 60 feet by the time I can recast it.
Let's talk to the captain before we start racking our brains over everything. Maybe they have some protective order already in place. I don't know. I'm sure
Alright.
everything will be fine.
I'm sure it will as well.
I kind of want to get going as soon as possible. I've got a thing coming up, and time is of the essence. And Phaedra will kind of fiddle with her fingers a bit.
Of course. Here we go. And follow me. He'll start walking where he was told to go.
Alright. So, the group of you head out, tromping along, and head to the location you were actually given by your, by the captain of the adventurer. Oops. Ah! Don't scroll out that far. Lyra, no. I need to see my screen. Sorry. I know you're happy and you're purring, but no, I can't see my screen like this.
Nah, you don't need to see the screen, human.
Okay, you can lay in my books for a little bit, but I need those too. So we have Adler, Beast, Dara, Phaedra, Gamel, Grick, Fawn, Shiori, Talon. Oops, wrong Talon. Talon, and Will. And I believe that there's also a Quincy involved.
Yes.
There we go.
In the cinder.
Yeah. Cinder can take care of herself. She can fly.
Yeah.
So I'm just using this as reference that know who exactly is here at the moment. Did I forget anybody, or did I pick up anybody that isn't actually going? So everybody's fine. This is who's going.
I think that's everyone.
Okay. So you come up on the
I'm
docks.
on 11 now.
Can you repeat that?
I mean, there's my theory. I'm just trying to make sure. That's.
So you come upon the docks. The special dock that was set up for the airship. None of you have ever been here before, of course. This is a rather new place for the rest of you, and you are once again treated to the odd visage of a dragonborn with tentacle, a red scaled dragonborn with green tentacles growing out of his the back of his skull, and a few down the front, kind of like a twitching beard of sorts. Not quite Davy Jones from that, but
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is all that's coming, is there?
Yes, Captain.
Oh, good.
Yep.
You see various people of various races finishing up bringing cargo and such on the ship, and several come and assemble. And in fact, one of them is familiar to a good group of you. You see a rather familiar looking I can't pronounce the species name again. Threekreen, the bug-like being with antennae and 6 limbs altogether. You recognize this to be Rack, who some of you last saw in the Nexus. She speaks into your minds. It is a pleasure to see you all again.
I was expecting to see you on an airship, Rack. What are you doing here?
Well, I have been invited along. If I was part of the team that was picking the crew members for this ship originally, and I thought that maybe I'd be too old for a lot of this, but I came back to town not long ago and discovered that the state of the ship, and yesterday I learned that that Calzonia is actually ready to take off, so I figured, why not see what's happening now? I imagine this is my last chance, after all.
Why would this be your last chance?
Well, I am very old. I am a very old woman. And every day that I wake up is precious to me and interesting. Well, not really wake up. My people don't exactly sleep. She laughs. It's more of a light of trance, not too dissimilar from some elven trances, though we can do minor tasks during it, but it's not exactly consciousness.
Vader just smiles at Rack. I know what you mean. Every day is a blessing.
And she nods. And there's also a purple scaled lizard folk with a green sail standing nearby. It doesn't look exactly like somebody that you've exactly met. One or two of you might have seen this person before, but the features are very familiar otherwise. And she kind of like steps up and nods her head. It's like I'm Velasi Vander. I think I've seen. And she kind of looks at Vaughn and gestures. I think I've seen you before. I forget if we spoke. But I have heard of you. You're the Iron Roses, yes? You run the Weeping Angel Tavern.
Sure
Yes.
nods.
Some of you know one of my older brothers and sister, uh, Nolan and Raja.
Oh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is a pleasure to actually meet the rest of you.
Nice to meet you as well. How is Nolan and Raja?
Nolan is still recovering from what happened to him in Dragonspear. Raja is apparently off again. She felt more of the call to leave the city. Uh, Last I heard, she was okay. She's putting her talents to good use out in the world. I think she might actually be in Golden Fields at the moment, helping with some of the repairs there after the dragon after the giant assault a few months back.
Hmm. Very noble of her.
Indeed.
So we're all going on this journey together, huh?
Yes. We had some concerns. Not regarding capabilities or anything.
The
Uh,
captain kind of looks over to you and, well, what kind of concerns?
uh, well, you had talked about the possibility of, like, engines exploding, falling, stuff like that. Do you have, uh,
There is that. There's always that chance with untested technology. I mean,
does,
it
sorry, go
does
ahead.
fly, and we did do a loop around the outside of the city at one point, but we were supposed to go on a mission a few months ago, and we spent the night checking over the ship to make sure it's still fly worthy and all that, and it is, and we've loaded up supplies.
That's kind of where our concern was. In case, like, we're willing to take the risk for time's sake for this, to be a part of this maiden voyage. Um, but do you have protection for the rest of your crew from falling from tall heights? We've
Um,
prepared and didn't know if you have done the same.
we do have a few spellcasters, a few mages on standby with the ability to cast Featherfall, if that's what you mean.
Awesome. Just wanted to make sure everybody was covered in that aspect. We are good in
That might
that.
not always help from drowning, though, of course. So,
No,
and then there are
no.
those who, compared to the near certainty of drowning, would rather take die falling from such a high height than to drown because they can't swim.
That'll be fine.
It's just some of the crew. It's some of the things we went over when. So, welcome aboard. And like you just see this, it looks at least partly like a regular sailing ship, but there is a like there appears to be this huge mass above it that is just floating in the air. I'm not sure if your character should be familiar with the concept of balloons. Guess
Nope.
not. So basically, you see a
Yeah.
huge floating mass above it. It's almost like
Phaedra
a fish,
would.
but not quite shaped. Not, yeah, yeah. Phaedra would recognize it as a large balloon or dirigible sort of thing up there.
Yeah, because there was that sky ship that crashed in the jungles.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course, it also has what looks to be some sort of engines at the end that you're pointed towards, um, with some sort of something glowing inside of them. And Kazuni says, "Well, welcome to the Adventurer. Um, we have hammocks that you can sleep on down in the main bay. Unfortunately, I don't have crew quarters I can assign to any of you." And he kind of looks at Beasts. Sorry, at Quincy. Says, That's going to be a bit of a problem, but I suppose that one can sleep on the deck.
Grig's just wandering around wide-eyed,
So-
looking at everything.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you come on board and we'll have a small tour of the areas that probably be the best thing for you to know about.
Yes, please.
Dara's sharing the same enthusiasm as Grick.
Yeah, Phaedra's like walking around being like, "Oh, so this is what was out in the trees in the jungle. Got it." She's just kind of putting two and two together.
Okay, so he shows you onto the top deck. The gangplank is in the back. It's between the engines, and he points those out. Says that just make sure that these don't get overly damaged. If they do, we might be we'll be drifting back down to the water. If he points upward, if that is destroyed, and the engines are destroyed, there's a good chance, even with Featherfall, that we're not going to make it. If just the engines collapse, explode, whatnot, that, and again points up at the dirigible, should keep us from simply crashing down to into the water, but it will, lower us back down there. Thankfully, there are different compartments up in that large balloon, so that if, let's say, projectiles are launched up or fired down from above, like say from a dragon, it can withstand various punctures at various places without completely collapsing and killing us all. He kind of goes over those safety precautions. Unlike a ship, unlike a water ship, if one of you happens to fall overboard, and he points out the fact that the deck rails are actually a lot taller than any ship you've ever been on, we won't be able to retrieve you. So don't go too close to the edge. You might want to just to look at things, but be very, very careful. And then he takes you below, and shows you basically a long, wide area. There are areas with hammocks strung up, and there are doors into various cabins. And at one side there is a galley. It's kind of a trying to describe it best. But basically, back towards the area where the engines are, that's where the galley is found. So there's like the engine room. So there's like a bit of a purr back there, and there's just a galley area, and there's all the areas in between is like set up down in that area for like people to have bunks, and then there's like little side cabins for various people. There's also an above deck cabin, which of course belongs to the captain. And there are some other features, like there are masts and rigging that does remind you of other ships. And then there's like ways going below, and he says, for now, please just stay on the top two decks. There's other compartments down below. There's storage and other functionality that we were working on back when we were going to be more of an exploring ship. But for now, for now, please stay to the top deck and the below area with the hammocks and the galley.
Will do.
Two people came to mind as soon as that was said. First one was Will. Second one was Gammo.
Only two people?
I mean, if you want to do shenanigans, I don't know.
They
Well,
wouldn't stop the captain after all.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Stupid chaos god giving him those powers.
That's fine. He won't do anything much.
There it is.
Just depends on how curious he gets.
see, there it's down there where they actually keep the dragon that keeps this thing flying. Balloon? No.
Yeah, I'm curious about what's on the third deck too.
It's just a dragon pedaling a bicycle.
Now, mounted on up above, you do see ballista on the top deck. They're mounted along the side, but they're on swivel platforms, so they can fire on things that are ahead of the ship, behind the ship, and below the ship, of course, because it's flying. And you see various crew members again of a variety of races, just kind of like wandering here and there. So it's like the group of you doesn't really stand out in this crowd. So, Iron Roses, what would you like to do as the ship is getting ready to set out?
Greg's just running around the top deck.
Velocity appears to be following after. And she's like, "What is there anything I can help you with? Help you to understand?"
Everything?
That's a loaded question.
Even if the journey takes takes longer than expected, I don't think I have time to tell you to explain to you everything. She laughs.
I think I'll be fine observing it. Appreciate it.
All right.
Just more in awe at the moment.
Phaedra's gonna check in with Captain Calzone or Calzonia. Sorry.
Calzonia.
Not bad.
No,
Apparently-
it's okay. As I said,
Apparently, I want a calzone.
this is a name I came up with nearly 30 years ago, so it's
Yeah.
okay if the names I made up back then are are rather strange. I mean,
They're not strange. They're yours. It's fine.
Yes,
I
but
just
we
said
find
calzone.
Captain Calzone to be perfectly acceptable. Don't worry about the names.
She's gonna check in with Calzonia and see if there's any tasks or duties that she or anybody else could help out with or learn or assist in any way that they can. Obviously not anything dealing with like the super techie stuff.
did you
but
say Talon or Phaedra?
Phaedra.
Phaedra. All right. And
Yeah, Dara will probably follow Phaedra.
he's
He
headed
wants
up to
do
the
the same.
headed up towards the the front of the ship where there is in fact a wheel of sorts. It seems a bit more complicated than a standard seagoing wheel, and it's hard to tell exactly where what it does exactly. But there are metal connector pieces that seem to be heading along the sides of the ship and whatnot. And he kind of like turns back and looks at you as you approach. Oh, you're looking for jobs.
I just figure if we're going to be on this ship together for the next foreseeable future, however long this is going to take, figure we'd help out in some way if you'd like us to.
On the back up,
And
in
I'm
case
quite familiar with ships.
someone gets sick or hurt. You ever been on an airship?
This is the first flying ship I've ever seen.
Well, see, an airship might look deceptively a lot like a sailing ship, but it does handle differently. As you can see, and he points upwards towards the dirigible, there isn't there aren't sails or a mast or anything like that.
Yes, I noticed that.
Not the same kind of rigging. And then he points at the fact that instead of like one centralized mast, there is still a centralized mast, but there's also a bunch of like smaller ones that like you could shimmy up and whatnot, uh, arranged in various intervals, like holding on to different, putting into different sections of the balloon. Basically, those are to handle if there is a puncture, uh, and it needs to be fixed. Somebody can actually climb up there and fix any of the ones that get punctured. Um, though it is fairly thick, they can each section can take a lot of damage before it completely goes over. And even if the entire side were to be ruptured, uh, it would still it would still be upright, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It's not it won't tilt the ship one way or another. It's designed so that it'll fall into the center and stay there until the other side is fixed to keep the ship flying. So it's a bit more it's a bit sturdy, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some rather nasty dangers out there we have to be worried about.
Well, maybe that's how we can aid is just have all of us keep a watch out.
The,
Um,
yes, handling ballistas, that would be most convenient. You must have seen them mounted on the deck here.
yes.
Well, yes, if you can take shifts on the ballistas and your people take shifts on the ballistas, that'd be great. There are
Okay.
other ways you can, of course, assist. If you have anybody that's handy with cooking, can always use an extra hand in the galley. And of course, there's the time-honored tradition of swabbing the deck. Although, considering that birds can't easily poop on the center deck here, and he chuckles, it's less of a problem. Sometimes it gets on the top, which unfortunately I don't unless you, and then he kind of glances down at your boots and goes, "Oh, well, maybe you could be of use there. You have flying boots."
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Several of the ensigns assigned to such tasks, they also help with the rigging. Have flying boots.
Mm-hmm.
And help with the potentially help with the repairs if that comes to it. I mean, they can shimmy up and down as well, but if they're the ones with flying boots,
It's
they
a
can
lot
do.
quicker.
Yeah.
She smiles. I'd be happy to.
All right then.
Uh, I'll let the group know about duties, and if there's anything else that comes to mind, we're grateful for you taking us along. Just let us know what we can do to help. And she like bows her head, and she'll go back to the group.
And whilst Phaedra and Gelmin have distracted people, Will has snuck down.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Roll your stealth check, Will.
We haven't even left the dock.
Four rolls today.
You stuck down into the cargo hold, which is um, stacked up in ways that you're not expecting exactly, and there's a lot more there's a lot more things like keeping the cargo bits in place. Like you ever been on on a cargo plane or seen pictures of one?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the equivalent of the webbing is
Yeah.
down there.
Webbings and nets and ropes.
Yeah, basically keeping stuff when stuff is flying around. Uh, so like you see that, but you also see several what looks like compartments with doors in the way.
I go try to open one of the doors.
All right. You open one, you look inside, and you see benches. You see what looks like an alchemy set, but it's like bolted down the, where anything that doesn't need to move, like some parts of an alchemy kit definitely need to be moved back and forth, are bolted down to keep them from sliding everywhere. And there's extra clamps, extra vials and tubes that are all in safely secured racks. that look
Alright.
like things could do a lot of shaking and still keep things as steady as possible with delicate instruments.
I'll check out the other door because there was another one, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
And you see kind of some similar setups. You see a various toolkits that look like they have like some sharp implements in them, along with tiny tweezers. What look like a some sort of preservation kit, like various jars and various uh, bottles filled with you know preservative agents, all again kept very secure because of the flying conditions. That if something suddenly happened, you don't want the jars to cling against each other, break, and spill everywhere, sort of thing.
Do I find any like parts for the ship, like spare parts, like small
Not
ones,
not
like
in this
screws and such?
not in this section. In the various rooms you're looking into on the third floor.
All right. Well, I might be rummaging a little bit through the cargo, most just out of interest.
All right, roll me an investigation.
Here we go. I found it.
A 21 investigation. Okay, roll me a 1d100.
What did I will steal?
Oh God.
Hmm.
Haven't flown yet.
Alright.
Hey, free the magic number.
Yeah. So Will, finds one particular container. He opens it up, and he finds a lot of small metal bits. Looks like washers, screws, thingamabobs, springs. Very all in like little individual trays, but you can easily rattle them around, see them open up the little trays and see them in there. It's like ooh, all sorts of fine instrumental detail stuff.
Hmm.
It's just a crate filled with various boxes of the various trays of these.
So basically something that isn't built. It's part of something, or is it?
You're,
Yes.
you're looking at spare parts and repair materials.
Okay. I'm gonna take one bolt of something.
Okay.
Here's the bolt. Just one.
You pick up a bolt the size of your thumb.
Yep. I'm gonna put the box down, and I'm gonna head back up. Stealthy.
All right. The gnome now has one gnome thumb-sized bolt. What are the rest of you guys getting up to? Oh, and you have found various secured footlockers. Basically, containers that don't move when the ship moves, bolted into the floor underneath of each of the hammocks. It's one of those things that, yeah, it'll be really inconvenient if the hammock happens to break and you'll fall right on the box and hurt yourself. But at least it's not taking up floor space.
I think Gamel's is resting at the wherever the main mast is like leaned up.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of things. It's actually fairly dark there.
He's just sitting there, just eyes closed, getting ready for the journey, and listening all around more so.
All right. You hear a soft hum coming from the engines to the rear of the ship.
This will be fun.
Anyone else?
So we haven't taken off yet.
No, they're just getting ready to take off.
Okay.
I'm checking to see what everybody wants to do as we're getting ready to launch.
Will has
reappeared and is just, hanging around in the alley.
All right.
Yeah, sure. It's probably just wherever she was left and just kind of looking out and probably near to whatever like the most secure point she can be that is not near the edge.
All right.
Does the airship have anything similar to a crow's nest, or somewhere where you can get a better vantage point than?
Not that you're aware of.
Welcome back.
Dara will go looking for a good vantage point.
Yeah. So there's like there's the ballistas that peer over the edge. There are various people moving around on tasks, doing this and that. And of course, there's the captain's area with the navigational tools and all that. So you see like the captain and the navigator and a couple other people up on that part, which is just before the like it's just in front of the captain, basically the captain's quarters.
I guess Dara will just be up there, just looking around, just being on guard, making
Alright.
sure nothing happens. And the other two Winstars are probably just out on the deck, not sure what to do, looking around, waiting.
Alright.
Greg will probably just mention that he has to be small fixes like a finger, like a foot in size, no bigger in any dimension. But he does have mending, so that's
Okay.
useful. He'll be helpful.
Very. And Talon, roll me a investigation check.
Investigation or okay.
Investigation? Wow.
A
Yeah.
1 and a 2. Great. Thanks, game.
Something. As you go to sit down and listen to people. I want to say you're listening in the mid, in the middle of on the site, below deck, because there's a lot of people working down there, people getting ready, smells of food being cooked. Somehow this all comes together and you end up falling asleep without realizing it. And we are going to take a quick break so I can use the bathroom and such. See you in a few when the ship will be launching.
This is fine.
5, 4, 3, 2, explosion.
It's fine. I will only have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Wait.
Air sickness.
Is susceptible to air sickness.
Mhm. Yeah, there. I feel like was it Phaedra? It's either Phaedra or Talon is fine with air sickness.
I wrote
'Cause
it in my bio
Yeah.
for additional features and traits.
Maybe will have to roll as well, I guess.
Yeah, Phaedra, air travel advantage. There it is. From when they went up to the Cloud Giants.
Mm-hmm. Sure, you rolled poorly on that.
Yeah. Didn't she puke in the bag of holding?
I think so.
Yep.
Wasn't that James?
Yep, it was both.
Yeah, there were multiple people that I think that bag got passed around.
It's fine.
That's how we got vomit spiders.
Oh shit. I feel like Gamel's fine just because it's Gamel. I don't know about Grick.
Mm.
If I could, I'd say Gamel would be just probably make himself very hot. Because that's what he would do.
Make himself very what?
He would find whatever calming substance that he can find.
Oh,
But I don't think he could.
I'll be right back.
I hear that. You cannot hide it from me. I heard it.
We heard it.
We heard it, precious.
Precious. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
Everything is fine.
Of course it is.
We will live, and everything will be fine.
You will regret giving that thing the will.
What does Will have?
Some random bolt.
Yes, that thing.
Hmm.
I will say this. Gamble's going to try to keep an eye out below him and see if he can see any ships. For no particular reason.
Yes. Rain down the chaos.
Just drops a bean onto a ship.
Surprise pyramid. The ship sinks. The mummy is confused.
The mummy's confused and wet.
I rise again. Wait, why is there water?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Mother.
No, yes, there it is. That would be a great adventure for future time. Yes, let's go and fight the underwater mummy.
Best part is he's pretty much safe from any possible negative effects.
And I'm back.
No repercussions.
Welcome back.
Exactly.
Okay,
There's
what am
no
I
repercussions.
what am I missing here?
No repercussions, Chris.
No repercussions.
Oh, that's not gonna be good.
No.
It's fine.
It's fine. Gamble just plans on watching for any ships below and maybe dropping a bean on them. Or trying to. What could possibly go wrong? Sits at the back and like waits and then drops a bean.
So how many people are we still missing?
I don't know.
Let's see, Tobias is here,
Oh,
Shell
yeah.
just got back, Quentin's here.
I think we're all here.
I
All
think so.
here? All good? Yeah. Alright. Muted because of food. Got it. Alright, so. Not long after you guys have all come in, settled in, investigated around, one of you falling asleep, The ship finally takes off, and you know this for two reasons. One, the sound of the engines gets much louder. There's this like, loud humming noise, and suddenly there's a lurching sensation as the ship just suddenly unmoors from where it was. And those of you who are up on the deck and looking about, such as Dara, uh, notice that you are now flying through the air.
Well, shit. Uh, this is fine.
So, are we
So,
sure that Rick's here? Because I just mentioned.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, cool.
Are you sure though?
I'm never sure.
Hmm.
Who
knows?
Loud gap of silence right there.
So I'm taking it someone is at the helm of the ship and steering.
Yeah. There's a whole crew up there.
So Will is gonna go invisible.
Oh no.
Oh god.
Please don't crash us.
Using
Yep.
his
I'm up there too. Dara's up there too. Please don't do anything.
fully invisible. And then he's just gonna go up and kind of stretch out his arm between the person steering and the wheel or whatever you would call it.
Okay.
And then it's just going to drop the bolt on the ground. Let's say it falls with a loud ding ding ding.
Strangely enough, they don't appear to notice.
Does Dara notice?
Dara, roll a perception check. They are so fixed on steering the ship, looking out ahead, gazing about that they don't notice the dropped item. Yeah, Dara, I think you do kind of you hear a soft plink and see a bolt sitting on the floor by the wheel.
Where did this come from? I go to pick it up.
Calzonia kind of looks over you at that point. What?
I show him the bolt as I pick it up.
He frowns a bit. Huh. What's one of the side bolts doing in here? Kind of like looks around. Huh. That's strange. Maybe somebody had it in their pocket and it fell out.
Well, here you go. I hand it over.
What's your name again?
The name's Dara. Pleasure to meet you.
Dara. Yes, I am Captain Calzonia.
Fine crew you have here.
Thank you. Well, they're all very dedicated to the ship. Very eager to get on, even if our mission has changed. And they're all just a touch crazy enough to want to be on an airship for the first time, which I imagine you all have in common.
And new wondrous ventures, always great and always interesting.
Yes, I agree. That's the spirit of the adventurer. So, what sort of ships have you sailed before?
Oh, many ships, mostly trade ships. There was one time when I went on a privateer ship. I don't remember the class of ship. But those were good times.
Oh, well then. Yes, I used to sail out a lot, usually in some of the more southern islands. That's originally where I'm from. I'm from an archipelago. Archipelago. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pronunciation is
Archipelago?
just. Yeah. Uh, my dad had a farm on one, and that's where I was born, so to speak. Uh, I used to sail out a lot around there, and eventually caught the eye of the Lord's Alliance. Uh, and thanks to Lady Jasmine, I was accepted into service in in Waterdeep. And eventually got tapped for this project because I was one of the few people willing to take it on.
Interesting. Quite an interesting life you have.
Mm. Maybe, maybe not. I am rather unusual. And the tentacles in the back of his head twitch. And quite unique.
Everyone's unique in their own way.
There is that too, yes. But you seem to come from a large family, so my eyes do not deceive me.
Indeed.
Yeah, Phaedra's in the front of the airship. She can definitely hear the conversation going on here because they're also in the front of the airship.
She's not going to interrupt. She's just basically, I imagine her just looking out. Like, she's not going to bother them up by the wheel. But she's up forward, just looking at the horizon. And I imagine, like, cinders on her shoulder and, like, putting out her wings and letting the air, like, flow underneath and, like, cinders, like, churring.
That is cute.
So, Phaedra loves flying and being up high. So she's very, very happy and she's just enjoying herself right now.
Yeah. She's just wandering the deck, keeping an eye out.
Yeah. So, that would be day one of this particular adventure. Because you're taking an airship rather than going over water, not only is it taking less time than it might otherwise, it is also much safer in terms of dangerous creatures. Still, that being
Things can
said,
fly.
there's always the chance of a malfunction. So, who would like to roll a 1d100 for me?
Oh my. I'll do it. Fuck it.
Because we're gonna do it for 4 days until they reach the area where the searches start. Okay. That's a success. The ship stays intact. Who would like to take the second day? All right, ship is still good. Third day.
I will.
Side note,
All right.
Vader would have also like explained about taking shifts on the ballistas, everything that the captain told her. She would have relayed that to everybody.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, keeping an eye out for things in the sky or down below in the water that might be a threat, like a ship that can shoot up there.
On the third day, Gamo's going to look for any ships below them.
All right.
So let's make a. I don't think he'll see any, but he's going to just kind of look.
Roll a perception check.
Nope.
Nope. No, he doesn't see any. There also might not be any there. It's hard to tell.
He's really high up, but he's enjoying the view.
Okay. So who wants to roll for the fourth day? Welcome back, Tobias. How about you roll a 1d100 for us?
Wait, what?
Roll a 1d100.
What did I do?
We're seeing if the ship explodes. It's fine.
Cool. 100, 100, 100.
The ship is fine. It is now the 22nd of dawning down. And you have reached the area where you believe you're supposed to be searching. Alright, so. Okay, so we have about a 10% chance of, well, more than that actually, since you're in the sky. No, actually it does. The group. Okay, so you are within the search parameters areas, and the Captain Calzonia calls you all together near the galley that day. You were served a small breakfast of eggs scrambled and some kind of hardened bread, along with a bit of broth. And he gathers you around the table in the galley and says, "Alright, we've arrived at the coordinates that we were supposed to get to. So, I leave this in your hands. You are the ones that know what you're looking for out here. I am just the travel facilitator, for lack of a better word. This is your show that you're running. How would you like us to proceed?"
Well, I, I, I think we should discuss it as a group. But I think I would like to throw out there that with a higher vantage point, with us being in the air, we might be able to do like a once around the island to see if we could see anything. What does everybody think about that?
I hope we'd see more of an area.
That's my thoughts exactly.
And we'd also be able to see if there's any potential spots that look like they might be good hiding spots for our ship.
Could,
Indeed.
I could fly off and see if there's anything to see.
Especially if we spot a hiding spot and you could fly down there.
Ooh, I just had an idea. Phaedra's thinking to herself real quickly.
Aki's just gazing at her now.
Oh shit. Roll 20, why you do that?
Why?
Wouldn't let me scroll down to see my spells. Ah,
Yeah,
damn.
it's a bit laggy because of the more people that are here.
Oh, with the character sheet.
Mhm.
You know, all the extra, all the extra.
Character sheet. If that doesn't work, refresh.
Yeah. Nah, I open and close. It's fine.
Yeah, all the extra people now on Roll20 because I can't meet in person.
Gosh darn it, all these new people wanting to try tabletop games online. Darn.
Yeah, those of us who've been here forever, it's like,
Well, I had a thought, but it would have been really cool if we could have done it, but apparently I can only target creatures with it. I thought maybe we could have made the airship invisible and we could have flown around stealthy.
Well, I can probably turn into some kind of bird and have a look around.
Also, while we're doing this, somebody roll me a 3d20. Yeah, it's actually a rather cold day today, And there's a strong wind currently blowing.
Are you sure that's a good idea, Will? It seems quite windy today.
A strong wind is perfectly fine to glide on.
That's true.
It's kind of like if you could hear the wind blowing out right now through my microphone. That's about how much the wind is blowing right now in the game.
Can't hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, good. You're because it's very loud behind me.
Hold on. Sound effects.
Can you hear it now?
No.
Did you hear the meow?
Meow.
Yep.
Yeah, because my cat meowed. But yeah, there's a lot of wind blowing around outside.
I'll still give it a try.
Okay, Will. Be safe.
Will goes over to the edge and jumps off the ship.
Alright.
I feel like that was not the best way to make me feel like he's safe, but it's Will. Yeah.
And then he wild shapes into a giant eagle.
Okay. Let's see. It is blowing. The wind is pretty, heavy, which means that in flying this would be treated like rough terrain, and halves your movement.
All right.
Thankfully, thankfully you're not a tiny bird, and this isn't the pandemonium. You're not going to get thrown away.
Around in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
You're a giant eagle, but it's still.
With a wingspan. Quite a lot. So yeah, I'm just gliding off.
So you're gliding off. Okay, so you're getting how far away from the ship?
Oh. See, if I'm not mistaken, eagles have pretty good eyesight. Like, I'm not even sure how they integrated that in
Alright.
the beginning, but
No, but basically the idea is that if you're the search feature in this particular adventure deals with how far in terms of distance two searching parties are from each other. Because if you're in the same general area, that counts as the same search.
yeah. The thing is, though, I'm not very familiar with
Yeah.
the miles and such, the distances. So,
But I will
want to
give
be
you
far,
the equal.
I want to be far enough to be able.
You'd have to be at
basically
least.
legally.
You'd have to be at least 30 miles away from them.
Well, then I'll be 30 miles away from them.
What's your fly speed, and how long are you an eagle for?
Yeah, I wanted to try load that up, but I couldn't get the list to load. So I
It's
can't
usually an
see.
hour per your druid level.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll bring
And I
up
don't
the
know what
load
the
shape.
flying speed is.
There it is. I can't get the giant eagle stat up.
It's an 80-foot fly speed, currently reduced to 40 due to the wind.
Mm-hmm.
That's 40 miles per hour, which means that yes, you can get 30 miles away within an hour. But your shape is going to last for how long?
That's text in the chat. I'm gonna look for it. You can stay in beast shape for a number of hours equal to half your druid level. So I can stay as an eagle for 4 hours.
All right, that's good. Because you basically spend the first hour getting 30 miles away, and then spend the last hour, which means you're searching for 2 hours, basically, is what it goes to.
Yes.
But that still counts, so that's good. The giant eagle is now added to your forms, so you should be able to move that. You're much bigger than your normal gnome size.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
You're
Just
as big. You're as
tiny.
big as Quincy. And the rest of you just see this giant eagle flying away from the airship. So, who would like to helm the investigation on the airship? Because Tobias has his own investigation to roll.
Who's the best at investigation?
To be honest, not Gamel.
Well, none of my
Uh,
characters is probably for sure.
honestly,
Talon's got a +8.
Okay, that's really
Yeah,
good.
that's probably the best.
yeah, that's uh, 2 more of mine.
So if she gets a...
Basically, you're going to be rolling a 1d100 each time, so it doesn't really matter what your stats are.
Oh.
Fair.
I'm just asking
That
who
would
wants
make
to actually make the roll, because Tobias is making one roll and you guys are making another.
I don't care. I'll do it.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense for her to helm the lead, anyways.
Oh, that's Talon, but yeah, don't matter.
Alright, Tobias, you get to make your own 1d100 roll.
Yay.
Alright. Neither of you spot the ship you're looking for on on the 22nd. Now I need somebody to make the 1d100 roll to see if if the ship engines break.
I got it.
Alright, they're fine.
Always good.
While they're doing this, Gamel's going to
It's 2 days till midwinter. Just to let you know, Phaedra.
I thought you said it was 8 when we left.
It's been 5 days now,
Oh, okay, cool.
and it was 7 when you left.
1 week.
It's been never mind.
Gamel's going to change Tiny Tim.
Okay, and that's gonna be on the 22nd.
Yeah.
What would
He's
you like
gonna
to
be
change Tiny Tim into?
What do you turn him into? You know, because they have pretty good eyesight. An owl.
All right. What's the fly speed of an owl?
That's what I'm currently pulling up my phone to look up because I have that app.
And somebody that hasn't done a roll recently, please roll me 3d20.
I'll do that. 20.
All right.
Oh, that's the wrong thing.
On the 23rd, the wind speed is still blowing very strong, but the temperature is normal enough for the season. It's cold, but it's not freezing your bones. Though there is the occasional bit of snow that's drifting past as the wind blows by.
Their fly speed is actually 60 feet.
All right, it's currently reduced down to 30 because of the strong wind.
I'll just make sure I can actually do what I'm thinking of doing by looking up this. Yeah, as long as I've done it before he gets out of range, I can look for his eyes and ears.
Okay. So you're going to be spending all day doing that then?
Yep, and he's going to fly
Because
the
they have to
opposite
make
direction of Will.
30 feet away. Will's flying 30 feet away. So that means Tobias gets one roll, Fluffy gets one roll, and somebody other than Rick gets the third roll, 1d100 each.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen giant eagle?
I already told you because of the wind. It is halved from 80 so that it is 40.
So it's 40
Quinn.
miles per hour. Cool.
Quinn, you want to take a ship roll?
Sure. What is it again?
1d100. 1d100 for the search. These are the currently the search rolls.
Search rolls.
So everybody roll a 1d100 to see if you spot them on the
So
second day
Quinton's
of
roll
searching.
there is for the ship then.
Yes.
No, yeah, for the ship search area. Okay, let me see. Phaedra already rolled that, so please, Quentin, re-roll. And Shiori re-roll. Oh, actually, yeah, and Shiori re-roll as well.
Okay.
Shiori re-roll again, please.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, this is a lot of.
Yeah, so all of you come back without finding it. Uh, Phaedra, roll for the see if the ship explodes. Nope, the ship's fine. It is the 24th. Phaedra, you are feeling very strongly the pull, but you know that if you don't find the ship tonight, you're gonna be away. Basically, you're not gonna be able to function for tomorrow's search or battle. If you battle tomorrow, because you're gonna be spending all of this evening, basically spending a lot more time than just one evening doing stuff, because it is the eve before midwinter. On the plus
You
side,
had
Phaedra, you were feeling very cheerful.
very what?
You were feeling inexplicably cheerful. It's like even if you know you're in a terrible situation, everything in your body is going cheerful, cheerful, cheerful.
Hey,
It's kind of like the
technically,
opposite of depression and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
technically, wouldn't she have to deliver coal to the evil cultists?
No, no, that's besides that would be the equivalent of Krampus, and there's no known Krampus here.
Oh, can I be Krampus?
You'll have to appeal for the job. But yes, Phaedra.
Hashtag numb goals.
But yeah, Phaedra, you were feeling you're feeling very powerful. You're feeling very jolly. You're feeling very kind to all, and you're feeling other things as well. But you also know that if you do not find the ship, if you do not find the ship today, you're not going to be able to do anything tomorrow. You personally.
Okay. Um, and this is gonna start the night before. Basically, she'll leave like midnight.
Basically, this is the last. This is the search day. This is the 24th.
Yeah.
After the search is finished, your character is going to disappear from the ship.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the next day, you'll be basically in an utter state of exhaustion because you'll spend a known amount of time, more than one day, like, the equivalent of weeks doing other stuff, not sleeping.
Yeah. So knowing that, she is going to take a moment to talk with Shiori before she leaves. Her being like overly cheerful, like I feel like she just like runs up and just gives her a big hug.
Yeah.
And probably like clicks her flying boots in a little bit and just like swings her around.
And Cinder smells like cinnamon,
Hey.
like gingerbread men.
She just giggles. I just wanted to let you know I'm going to be leaving soon. My patron and I have some things to do, but I just wanted to say Happy Winter's Fest to you. Fest.
It's
What is it?
midwinter. It's midwinter on
Midwinter!
this world.
Whatever.
Midwinter.
Sorry. Wrong thing. Critical role. My bad. Happy midwinter to you, my
Well, at
love.
least you didn't call the ship the ball leader like one group did on Wednesday.
Oh God.
It's just Stormy Jack on Wednesday.
Shiori smiles and will say, to you as well. And she will give her a kiss.
Vader will kiss her back, and she will. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, she will. She'll reveal this. I was gonna wait till later, but I guess I could let you know a little bit of a present I have working for you. I hope that you like it. Um, uh, there's going to be some cherry blossom trees planted around the bar in Waterdeep. Will's helping me out with them, and I wanted to give you a little piece of home from your old home in your new home. So
She smiles. I'm I'm very appreciative.
I know. And she boops you on the nose. But anyway, I feel like it's time for me to go. Be safe and take care. And I don't know how you want to. I imagine she leaves after that.
Well, first we have to make the rules to see if they find the ship on here today on the 24th.
Oh, I thought that was this.
Nope,
Oh,
that
okay,
was the
my bad.
23rd's rules. No.
Oh, okay.
I was letting you know if they don't find the ship here on the 24th, that
Gotcha.
you're gonna be leaving before they find it.
Okay. Well, then I guess that conversation, whatever. It happened whenever, but that happened.
I imagine it's first thing in the morning as a just in case.
Okay.
But okay. At this point, so somebody roll me a 3D 20 again, please,
Sure. Why
to
not?
see
I've
the
done
current
this,
weather
yep.
conditions.
In the 40s. 20.
Yeah, it's still very windy. And it is now snowing heavily. If you were back home in Waterdeep and the weather was like this, it'd be a perfect midwinter's eve. You know, the perfect time to curl up in front of the fireplace with the fire going, your hot cocoa or whatever you're drinking. Well, except for Phaedra, you know, everybody else would be waiting for, you know, for somebody to deliver presents in the dead of night, except for Phaedra, because that is what Phaedra is going to be doing. Because she is this world's Santa Claus now, by right of her patron. And but yeah, this is perfect conditions for being indoors in front of a fire. This is horrible conditions when you have to search for shit.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, the snow is potentially impeding you, which means there's no re-rolling for this day. Everybody is all the three groups are now going to be rolling a 1d100 to see if they spot something on their particular route. But as I said, because of the obscurity, it's possible that you are already looking what or somebody else looked and don't realize it. So
Mhm.
What do we have to roll?
it's a 10% chance of finding it. So
Uh,
yeah.
There you go, Gamma. Rolling the dice.
All right,
Oh.
Tobias. All right, and finally, Quentin or Rick. Rick hasn't. I don't think Rick's rolled anything yet either.
Yeah, if Rick wants to.
You can.
No, I insist.
Okay, then Rick gets to roll to see if the ship explodes.
Oh,
Yay.
this isn't the responsibility I wanted. So that's a 1d100.
Right. Right, everything's good. And Phaedra goes off on her fantastic journey. The last you see of her, as you guys are all coming back, with the snow falling in waves around you, is before the night can fall. You see that Cinder turns into a much larger, dragon, and Phaedra climbs upon his back and flies out into the storm.
She
Shit, I
waves
thought-
bye to everybody. What? What'd you say?
Sure waves. Sure, Gamma goes, shit, I should have asked her for more milk.
The rest of the crew is a bit startled by this and going, What's going on? Huh. And all the
She'll be
rest of
back.
it. And since this is your first, delivery run, Phaedra, uh, because this world hasn't really had a Santa before. I mean, yeah, there's been the occasional, like, gift-giving celebration. So, but it hasn't been a major thing yet. Years down the road, it will be, thanks to you. But
I feel like I need to put on Christmas music. Hold on 1 second. Where is it?
through the special night, you are drawn into the places with certain decorations and certain offerings that were originally meant to be, as jokes, for parents to consume and give out toys to their kids, that sort of thing. And you show up and end up also giving toys and presents to the kids, plus maybe the occasional nice gift to an adult. This will be a spreading tradition after a while, and you will be much busier in the years to come, assuming that you don't die soon.
Yeah. Confidence.
And even then, you might. Even
We're on
then,
a ship that we have to roll a D100.
So what you're
Yes,
saying is you're gonna
Little
kill
cat.
Santa.
You're a horrible person.
no. I was about to say, even then, Phaedra, you might end up flying throughout this land as a death block, if that's the case.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Excellent.
Zombie Santa, why not?
Oh man. Oh God. Eternal life of servitude. Got it.
No, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No. I get it. I got you. It's fine. It's fine.
Santa's a ghost. Got it.
Never mind. Anyway.
Explains everything.
Santa's dead, baby.
Anyway, I have to whisper something to Shuttle as well.
Oh.
Because it is, the gift-giving holiday, you are allowed to have given presents to each of your companions. You will, of course, be taking this out of your own money, but you're being the generous sort. You could also have said that you made something for them in the blank time, and it's like it just suddenly appears in front of you, out of the equivalent of your bag of holding, including stuff that shouldn't be allowed in a bag of holding if you want to give them portable holes or another bag of holding. Because the general rules of physics are suspended around Santa on that on the flying night.
Oh, I can't do this on the fly, Grizz. Oh God.
You could say that you left them back in the Waterdeep Tavern, if that's the case, and just give me a list at some other point, and say that the stockings are hung in the tavern with care, and you've given presents to all of the little kobolds, and probably went to evidence and root.
Yeah,
And
she
piled up
definitely.
given the rest of the presents to everybody else, and
Yeah, I will get you. I can't do it on the fly that quick, but yeah, she definitely will. Either if she's going to, yeah, she would provide everybody a gift as well as like Quincy and all the kobolds and everything. So.
along with possibly a story for them to tell of what offerings will draw you in on Midwinter's Eve, in order to supply the household with gifts. That sort of thing, like
Yeah.
cookies and milk are what draws in Santa. What is your offering? What are going to be your offerings of choice? You will also be lured in with cookies and milk if that's what they want to leave you, but or at least for the first night, and you can leave them behind, little instructions saying, can you please for next year provide XYZ in terms of like small food and beverage offering. Nothing overly fancy.
I had an idea for something that's temporary. I don't know if you'll allow it
Okay.
while she's gone, but she'll do the gift thing, and I'll get you that list. But can everybody just in front of them have like a little, almost like a snow globe appear in them, like in front of them, and just like a bubble that looks like it's snowing,
Sure.
and like Shiori, it would also have like cherry blossoms in it. Will would have like the golden fields, basically a little piece of home
Okay.
Yeah, home and cheer just to remind them of good times. So whatever they would see,
All right. And
just a memory of good times.
that's what they'll see in the first thing in the morning, and you can describe that to them as well. I'll let you do that.
Okay.
The other thing that you'll find when you come back to the ship on your trek is one last stocking to be filled in the ship's galley. The chef apparently put up a small offering and put a little bit of festive decorations, like there's one simple cookie and a tiny glass of like brandy or something like that, just set out as a traditional offering because
The one person who puts out booze, yes, this person gets something nice.
yeah. But it looks like
Oh,
it looked like because it's set in the galley that it could be anyone or every or something for the ship in general. But yeah.
can she, going in the galley and seeing that, and I guess while everybody's sleeping, can she just magically make it look like very festive? So, like natural evergreens, pine cones,
Okay.
snow, just make it look like very Yule Christmassy.
Okay.
Uh, but all in the sleeping quarters while people sleep.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you've got like the one thing in the galley that's like got tiny little festive decorations set up just because somebody was homesick for being around
Yeah.
midwinter, and then you transfer to every all the sleeping quarters on this floor are now have them.
Yeah. Basically just like the whole ship just to bring some
Even
cheer to
even the
everybody.
captain's quarters.
Fuck yeah, even the
Okay.
captain's
Cool.
quarters
Cool. Cool.
everywhere.
All right.
That it would be a smart idea to do that.
Okay. When you guys come to consciousness on the morning of the 25th, you notice all around you the smell of pine cones. And there seem to be weird decorations now strung up everywhere. You saw yesterday that there was a small decoration set up in the galley, like just like a tiny little hand carved like snowflake or something, and a pine cone. And like once you went to bed, somebody left behind like a plate with a small, kind of semi-still cookie and a tiny glass of brandy out. And now, when you've woken up, there are just festive decorations everywhere. There are pine cones. There are streamers that of like holly and evergreen boughs everywhere, and you're hearing startled gasps from everybody in the ship as they're waking up.
Camel immediately goes, I didn't do it.
Neither did I.
And Phaedra is currently curled up, fast asleep in her in her hammock with Cinder laying on top. Cinder, now small again, laying on top of her.
Can I describe the other thing too?
Sure, go for it.
So, when everybody wakes up, sitting at, I guess if you're at your hammock,
Are you
you
okay,
okay?
Quinn?
No, I'm sorry, I forgot. Fish the duck cosplaying with dice.
Oh, I was like, oh dear God, everything's falling down.
It should be fixed now.
All right, okay, go back to the description.
So when everybody like wakes up in your little hammocks, sitting on just right to your side, like just close to your hand, you see a little glass ball, and it's glowing. And when if you pick it up, you look at it, and it's like a snow globe, and it's got just like constant snow. And as you look at it, each of you see something different. You see the thing that you miss the most, and something about home that you long for, just to bring a little bit of joy back to you. So if it's a person that you haven't seen for a while and you miss, you get an image of them. If you haven't been to like the golden fields in a long time, you want a vision of that, just something to bring a little joy to each of you. And it's got it just feels cool in your hand and a little frosty, but just a little memory of home.
Will looks in this ball. Then he looks disturbed. and he puts the ball like in a bag or something and just places it away. Doesn't look at it.
Honestly, she would probably just smile and tear up, because is what she would say.
Um, quick question to the DM.
Okay.
Would this be affected by the, yeah, I guess it wouldn't, because it's depending on who is holding it, right? It's not a universal that would be what you would most want to see, even if
That's
your
actually on
memories
shut.
weren't wiped.
That's actually on shuttle.
It would be something that brings you joy or makes you feel like you're at home. Just something that's comforting. That's what you
Okay,
see.
sure. Okay, yeah. Beast is gonna look at it and he's gonna look sad and he's gonna put it.
Rick just smiles because he would see his family.
Oh.
Someone he hasn't seen in quite a while.
Outside, it is, it's nice and cool out. The wind has finally died down, and it's not snowing anymore.
Uh, because I had a weird question.
Hmm.
Would favorite enemy apply to the search?
For what? Oh, you mean the search in general? No, it doesn't. It doesn't work that way, sadly. I thought you were
Okay.
talking about the ball again. I'm sorry.
No. Okay. We didn't blow up, right? Did Jet already?
I'm hearing a lot of typing in the background.
Sorry.
So as yeah, so as the rest of you were, seeing your gifts, like there's other people wandering out from their cabins, just kind of in astonished, going, "Oh, it's out here too! What? What?" It's, it's somebody else going. It's a midwinter miracle. We've been blessed. Like there's just people just kind of startled as they're wandering around. The captain even comes down and is just peering this way and that. It's like it is down here too. This this is different. Everybody is just startled and looking at their gifts. I take it.
Will
Phaedra's asleep.
Well, Phaedra's asleep, you know
Will
that.
walks out and just goes out to the deck.
Gamel's on the deck with the owl. I think probably staring at it.
Ooh, ooh. The owl has a top hat.
Right. We should get work. Gonna dwell on this later.
I was gonna ask why the top hat on the owl. I mean, I thought they were more of a ray or something. Kind of. Never mind. Shouldn't ask questions.
So do you guys wish to roll your checks then?
Yes. I mean, how else are we gonna find it?
All right.
I'm off, and he jumps off.
Camille, Bill, and who's gonna be? Where's Will's roll? All right. Going back and checking numbers.